After wrapping 4 days of testimony as the star witness against the former music mogul, was facing charges of racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Let's bring in prominent trial lawyer and legal analyst Michelle C. Thomas. Michelle, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure to have you. We learned a lot this week between Ventura's testimony and those text messages. Looking at how the case against Combs is playing out after week one, if you were his attorney, how would you be feeling about how it went thus far?
I'd be a little nervous, I have to tell you, because the prosecution, they really brought out this emotional, impactful testimony from Cassie Ventura. They laid the foundation for what we would consider a pattern of coercive control and really highlighted the power dynamics and imbalance between Diddy and Cassie Ventura. And so I think the domestic violence, seeing that certainly was disturbing. And I think that it's concerning that there was really no explanation for Diddy's behavior. There were drugs and alcohol involved, but that's not an excuse for behaving that way. And so the violence and the manner that Diddy was portrayed, I think, was quite concerning for the defense.
And the prosecution, and you alluded to this, is painting Combs as a monster. And one of the text messages entered as evidence, Cassie says, when you get effed up the wrong way, you always want to show me that you have the power and you knock me around. I am not a rag doll. I am someone's child, end quote. As a defense attorney, how do you see this evidence affecting the jury?
Look, I mean, they all saw the video. We've all seen the video. And the video of Cassie Ventura being dragged by the elevator, kicked and stomped by Diddy did not lie. And so that is impactful for the jury when they think about, the defense's case. They're trying to portray her as consensual. They're trying to control the narrative and say that he's not some monster who was, controlling her, but that it was a consensual act. But then when you see that power dynamic, you see her as a victim of domestic violence. Did she really consent? Because domestic violence, it's complicated, and a lot of times the victims, they favor their abusers and they support their abusers, but at the same time, as she mentioned at the end of her testimony, she lost her agency and she lost herself. So I think that was very damaging to the defense's position that this was a consensual act.
Michelle, so the charges against Diddy, racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Right now, it's what we've seen so far is domestic abuse. It's violence, but that's not illegal. Could he face life in prison? Because we haven't seen any proof of sex trafficking just yet. Right now, it's abuse.
Yeah, but we have to remember, this was just the first witness. And so what they've done is they've laid the foundation, the framework to portray Diddy as a monster. And so that when they bring in all these other witnesses that were possibly brought across state lines for the purpose of engaging in commercial sexual activity, which would then be illegal and support the charges against him, it makes it all the more believable and it makes the witnesses all the more credible. And so that's where I think Diddy has a problem, that they've already attacked his own character through this first witness, and therefore I think it would bolster the testimony of the subsequent witnesses to come from the prosecution.
I want to bring up the other witness that testified yesterday, Dawn Richard, who said she worked for Combs. She also took the stand Friday. She said she saw Combs attacking Ventura. How important is it to have testimony in a case like this as well?
Well, it's what we consider corroborating testimony. So it supports, again, and bolsters the credibility of Cassie Ventura's 4 days worth of testimony that the jury has heard so far. And so that adds to this concept and this framework of Diddy as a monster, as someone who controlled and pulled all the strings, and as someone who had the power and the ability to drag people across state lines to force them to engage in sexual acts against their will. And that's where you have the sex trafficking and racketeering charges come in to play.
And we saw this play out. We were all watching this. Ventura faced tough questioning this week under cross-examination from Combs' legal team. They're trying to portray Ventura as a willing participant. They showed a lot of texts alluding to that as well. When we see these text messages, as a defense attorney, how does that undermine Cassie's argument in court?
Yeah, so this is where I think the prosecution made a mistake. As a trial lawyer, you want to get ahead of what we call bad evidence. And so I think it would have been better for the prosecution to bring out these text messages where Cassie was sort of supporting Diddy and expressing love and romantic interest toward Diddy and supporting these freak-offs, and explain that away and explain that she was a victim of domestic violence at that time. She was suffering with extreme trauma, and therefore, even though she made these statements, that didn't reflect how she really felt. subsequently, as she subsequently testified. So the defense certainly used that to attack her credibility, to undermine this concept that she was a victim, to try to portray her as a consensual adult who was supportive, and that this was nothing more than a toxic relationship and perhaps a bad relationship, but not a criminal one.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.